Global tariffs creating huge economic uncertainty right now. The stock market has been up and down, and many people are not sure what they should be doing with their money.
Well, luckily, we have an expert on the show tonight. Financial advisor Jordan Flowers joins us again. Great to see you, Jordan. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be here again.
We need hours to talk about what's happening right now, not only with the tariffs, but Wall Street. But let's start with what's going on with the markets right now?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. There's a lot of news out there. If we look at last week, Wednesday, Trump put these tariffs, which called a ripple effect, where the market dropped right now over 12%. So when we look at that, it's affected a lot of people. And none of us know if it's going to last a few days, a few weeks, or a few months. And that creates uncertainty. And when there's uncertainty, the market's very volatile and it takes a hit because companies don't know how to price future earnings and they don't know if these tariffs will stay or if they're going to be gone, or if it's a negotiation tactic, or if this is going to be for a long term.
So volatile is the word, uncertainty is the word. I mean, how do you even advise people on making a plan?
Yeah, we have a philosophy in our office really to align the money to the purpose. Instead of having investments here, here, and here, or have all your money in one bucket or 401k, we want to divide into 3 buckets. One bucket for safety, so it's there when you need it, it's safe and secure. A second bucket's designed for the income, so it kicks you out income to continue with your lifestyle. If your lifestyle is satisfied, you can allow to have money in that third bucket, which is that growth bucket for long-term growth. And then if there's volatility, you're not going to be forced to sell at a loss because all your income is taken care of and you have a safety net.
For a lot of folks that have their money in the 401k, very exposed to the market, and are obviously taking a huge hit right now, if, say, the tariffs went away tomorrow, now has there been a portion of the market that's been liquidated and now like it will never come back, or will take a long time to come back, or if they went away, then we'd probably return to business as usual?
Yeah, the secret of the market is not buy low and sell high.
Catch the falling knife.
Yeah, the secret is really time in the market. And all it takes is one announcement that tariffs are canceled and the market's going to skyrocket. And 100% of the time, if you give a 20-year period of time, the markets have always recovered. So that's where the risk is. You don't want to try to catch that knife, so to speak, or time the market, because if you miss the best 10 days, that has a long-term effect on your overall retirement and your plans.
Yeah, it's hard not to look at your retirement, and some of us here are closer to retirement than others. Our floor director, Lee. Right, but we talk about this because it's in the news all the time, and if someone is closer to retirement than, say, someone in their 30s or 40s, do you take someone off the table now? I mean, I'm talking
at a loss.
Yeah, most likely at a loss. Maybe not if you've been invested for many years. But there's some panic selling going on, Jordan. And I don't know. I think some people are like, well, what do I do? Are we done going down?
It's hard to take the human emotion out of investing because when you look at your statements, that hurts. Let's be honest. It makes people feel uncomfortable. It's not a fun experience. But 5 years before retirement or while you're retired, you don't want to take a withdrawal as the markets are down because that's called sequence of return risk, and that could impact your long-term retirement. But other people, our younger people on the set here, this is the time to go all in. This is the time to be more aggressive because your dollar cost averaging in your 401ks and your investments, and if you give it time, small hinges, large effects, large doors, on sale. Everything's on sale. This is a great time to take advantage unless you're near in retirement, and then you want to be more cautious, but hopefully you have a plan ahead of time. So when the markets fall apart, this is an opportunity, maybe do some Roth conversions, do some planning, not get worried and stressed.
I know you don't have a crystal ball, but is there any way to determine when this uncertainty will be over? Anything history can sort of inform you on?
So history doesn't repeat itself, but it does seem to rhyme. And we did have 2 days where the markets dropped over 10%, Thursday and Friday of last week. And usually that's happened only 3 times recently, and that's in 1987. 2020 and 2008. Ugh. And that doesn't mean it's the bottom, but it means we could be nearing the bottom, but this is unique and different, right? These are tariffs, it's a trade war. It could last on for weeks or months, so none of us know, but you have to have a plan. And if you have a plan, it doesn't matter how long it takes, you're going to be in a good position.
And that's the thing with you compare 2008 and like that's a bubble. This is a trade war. Like they're different things, So for folks who are, say, further away from retirement, like closer to my age, is there anything you can take from this as a lesson moving forward? Like maybe don't be so exposed to the market as you get closer to retirement, or what do you suggest there?
Yeah, you got to have a plan, and you got to reevaluate that plan every year. Okay, it's not a plan you set it and forget it and never look at it again. Every year you reevaluate, and as you mature, you probably want to think about getting more and more defensive, especially as you approach retirement. But now is a great opportunity for all of us to recalculate our expenses. What's that subscription we're not using, or these different expenses, and maybe we can shave a few dollars off the table, reinvest it, or at least spend it in our family, and that's what I try to educate people on.
We were just talking about our family. Your daughter now 1.5, right? And, Greg has 3.
I got a bunch of mouths to feed.
Karen has 2. And are you buying the dip for your young kids? I mean, if you are building an account for them financially, this might be the time to maybe even add a little more, Jordan. I don't know.
If you have that on the sidelines and you can afford to do so, it's a great opportunity. But instead of trying to, again, time the market, you want to create great habits. So open that 529, have those accounts, and have that consistent monthly contribution. That'll pay off over long term. Don't think this is the only time I'm going to invest and then just set it. You have to have that monthly habit, and that'll benefit your family long term.
Plus the 529 helps you on your state
Helps you,
income
yeah.
tax.
Right.
It's like you're paying that money anyway. You might as well pay it to yourself.
I feel a little better after talking to Jordan.
Tax day is around the corner.
Yeah.
That's a story for another time. Jordan Flowers, it's always great to see you're calm, collected, and you give us terrific advice. So thank you.
My pleasure. It's an opportunity to take advantage, and we want people to be confident in their retirement, not to be worried and stressed.
All right, Jordan, thank you.
I'm happy. I wanted to have a therapist on standby, but like, he did enough therapy for us that it's good.
I hope so.
I hope so,
Just,
too.
you know, in a crystal ball, like you said, Karen, it'd be nice to have one to know when we kind of get some stability, but we're optimistic it will happen at some time.
Predict the markets like you can predict the weather,
You
Greg.
know, I honestly wish it was that easy.